Right hanging. It's about to load. Missing the. I did this. You have another.
So the thing is, he's the lowest bid anyway.
Yeah. Zip code.
Chris, 43. Yeah, so he's the lowest bid.
Go ahead.
Sam will be glad to make it. I told our
I just want to go
representative.
everything so you. I kind of got it to match this. That's on the other side. And this one go on the other side. About the same size.
So he got it broke down. He
Yeah, he broke all these.
didn't break it down.
He just gave it twice. That sounds good. That's right there. Good?
It's a full house tonight. Full house. Meeting went good that night, I thought. A good crowd. I don't know my rednecks over there, but did you notify Kelly? Probably.
I know about it.
Usually David comes, but he didn't come.
Oh, son. Hey, that's some good food down there.
Oh, you're good.
That food.
My mouth is dirty and dog.
It was good.
Yeah.
I gotta keep
It was
this
good.
to calm down.
Please, I smooth.
I know.
You won't do it. Oh, yeah, but I'm at an age where I don't complain about it. Not a done season, though. I told my wife she got to back up off that season for me. I'd rather add to it than I'd rather add to it. Oh God. Hey, how are you doing? You know you grill today. Hey, how you doing? You snuck in on me.
Got another call from
Snuck in on me. I didn't know you was here. Russ and them to the chicken place. Why don't you?
Oh, Lambo's? Yep. That's good. No, matter of fact, that was that big chicken in there.
You see his deal on it?
My wife and my son, he's out there. It's been a while.
This is the chicken tender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You been busy with your plumbing?
Huh?
Yeah.
You been busy with your plumbing?
I hurt my back yesterday.
You got 2 signs that they help you.
I laid on my floor last night. Trying to straighten it up. Picked up on me and Robert Dunmore's wife. Picked up on an old cast iron tub on the edge. I think I had most of the weight.
Oh, yeah, she called.
Thank you, Joe.
Better hurry.
Jake.
Terrace. Trinity don't want that?
I'm being nice. You think you could cook 10,000 for that? You think you could cook 10,000 across the board? For that?
JC's granddaughter.
You change that.
She works with him or something.
You can. I got 10,000.
Oh, who's that?
We had to do it Monday night. Let's call this committee meeting for Avoyelles Parish Police Jury to order. Today's date is Thursday, June 4th, 2026, 4 p.m. Please stand for prayer, followed by the pledge. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the opportunity to gather, serve the good people of Avoyelles Parish. We ask for your guidance and wisdom as we make decisions that impact our communities. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon, everybody. We'll start with the delegation first. First up, Mr. Heath Pastor, our assessor.
How y'all doing this evening?
All right.
You loan our taxes?
I was asked several times over the last few months to come and explain about the new tax sale process that's taking place. I think Alan had kind of asked me a couple times. He's, I think, in charge of the committee for adjudicated properties for the jury. So basically, in 2005, Act 411 of that legislative session changed the way tax sales were done in the state of Louisiana, kind of to mirror most of the other states and clean up some things. This thing is 58 pages. There's a lot of nuts and bolts behind the scenes to it. It's brand new. In the current session, I think they did some legislative cleanup, which I haven't even seen yet. But I'm just going to hit the very high-end part of it, and we can get together later on if y'all need. Probably it's more of a lawyer thing, and the sheriff's office is in charge of the sale and whatnot, but I'll just kind of go through a little bit I know of it. So to back up a little bit, the prior method, 2025 and before, the way the tax sale worked, if somebody didn't pay the property taxes, around May of the following year, the sheriff would have a tax sale auction at the sheriff's office. If more than one person wanted the property, it would bid down the ownership interest. Like if two of y'all wanted it, it'd go down to 90%, 80, until finally somebody bought it. The remaining interest would go to the original owner. The tax deed was generated and filed with the clerk of court in the conveyance records. Property was then assessed to whoever bought it at the tax sale, and if it was homestead before, the homestead would come off. So somebody that was kind of behind times, lost their job, sick or whatnot, if they couldn't pay the taxes, they would then lose the homestead exemption for however many years until they redeemed it. If you wanted to redeem the property, you had 3 years to go to the sheriff's office and get a redemption deed, pay the back taxes, interest, penalties, or whatnot. And then a redemption deed would be filed with the clerk, and the original owner would get the property back. If the property was not redeemed in 3 years, then whoever bought it at a tax sale to get a lawyer and file a civil suit petition to quiet the title. Now that was if the individual bought it. Now where y'all come in, if nobody bought the property, by default it became adjudicated to either the parish and or the town that it sat in. At that point, the property would become exempt. So the next few years, there was no taxes due. And after 5 years, if the property was not redeemed, then y'all could sell it, which y'all have done probably 20 in the last year or so, Alan. So that ball has been rolling where y'all been selling a bunch of them and putting the property back into commerce and individual ownership. This sale was done if a neighbor owned the property, they could buy it just for the fair market value. If there wasn't no neighbor interested, I think y'all would sell it via open bid to the public. That was the old way. Moving forward, starting with this year, the sheriff has already had the sale, but it's called the sale of a tax lien instead of an actual tax sale. What you're buying is a lien on the property, just like a bank has a mortgage or a lien on your property when it's mortgaged. This lien is now filed in the mortgage records as opposed to the conveyance. So we don't have any record of it. It doesn't come through us now. It's all with the clerk of court. Instead of bidding down ownership interest, this new process, if somebody wants to buy the lien at the sale, they're bidding down the interest they get on their money they spent to get the lien. So if somebody buys it for $1,000 of property tax and penalty, and somebody redeems it a year later, they're going to get 17% on their money. They get 5% up front and then 1% a month. So in this case, that's what you're bidding down. If more than one person wants the property, you start bidding down on the amount of interest you're gonna get back if it's redeemed. What's a big difference with this way is the property is gonna remain assessed in the original owner's name, and the homestead exemption will stay on the property. It's a little easier to keep up with. Banks with mortgages, it's still assessed to the original person. Their taxes won't go up by losing the homestead exemption, so it helps the people that's on hard times or whatnot. Instead of a redemption, to clear this up, if somebody says, hey, I want to get my property back, they have to go to the sheriff's office and they need a lien cancellation certificate as opposed to a redemption deed, and then that would be filed with the mortgage records. If the lien is not canceled in 3 years, then whoever bought the lien, they can petition with the legal proceedings to have a judicial sale. It'd be just like a regular sheriff's sale that's held out here. Instead of getting it for the amount of the property taxes, anybody on the street comes and bids up for the high bid price on it. Where y'all come into play, if it's not bought that way by individual, if it's adjudicated, they call it no bid property now. The lien holder would be the police jury and the town that it resides in. The property would remain taxable now, as before it was exempt at that point. After 3 years, the jury can initiate to enforce the lien by ordinance. So y'all can actually sell the property after 3 years with a minimum 2/3 of market value to sell it on the bid price. You can also put conditions in there which they didn't have before, such as no building restrictions, only sold to neighboring lots, whatever restrictions y'all would decide on that particular piece of property by ordinance. You must advertise 30 days prior to the sale, and there's a bunch of other stuff with it. How does that directly affect the jury right now? There's some decisions y'all need to make and some things y'all need to look into. A couple of them, y'all need to come up with a plan of action for this new method and the process of how y'all gonna sell the no-bid properties. Before, we print a list of the adjudicated properties, and on the map, people would see it was adjudicated and they'd contact y'all about it. Well, now it's only a lien, so you'd have to give the clerk of court, and y'all have to keep a record of what liens were filed. That way in 3 years, y'all can decide if y'all want to sell them. Prior to that sale, you'd have to look at the title to see if the liens had been canceled. That's kind of the major things on y'all end. The other thing is y'all have to make a decision. There's an option now. The ones that were grandfathered in that was sold last year, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, those are still grandfathered in. You can sell them the old way like y'all doing now, or you can convert them to a lien by ordinance and go with the new method. So that's y'all have to do the pros and cons and see what y'all want to do with those. But, that's it in a nutshell. Like I said, it's way more than this. It's 58 pages and a lot of legal fine-tuned writing in there, but
So you saying that the adjudicated property that we have now, for 3 years, we don't pay taxes on it. But with the new law, we'll have to pay taxes on it? Is that what you're saying? No?
not the police jury.
Not
Right now,
police jury? Okay.
if an individual doesn't pay their property tax and it doesn't get bought at tax sale by an individual, it's adjudicated to the police jury. When that happens, it becomes exempt because the police
Okay,
jury
we
doesn't
still
pay
exempt.
taxes.
Okay.
But all the taxing districts lose out on the taxes for those years. The new way, it's gonna stay assessed to the old person and taxes will be due.
It stays in the name of the person that
The original owner, correct.
original owner.
There's no transfer of the ownership.
So with interest,
Correct, with the interest.
Mm.
The interest stays the same.
That's better for everybody, I think.
So,
Mr. Jimmy?
Pete, what's your take on tax liens going through the assessor's office for a property standard violation? Where you at with it, as far as the jury following something with you?
so nothing with this process of the lien, you mean the,
If the parish, after the parish includes property.
If the parish goes in and cleans the property and the property owner gives a bill, they don't pay it, and then the jury has to follow a lien on it.
you're talking about like that one we're working with, there's a blighted property lien, y'all
Correct.
have it, or
Correct.
nuisance property or whatnot?
So to deal with the muni code thing, we talked to the
Once y'all
county.
do the ordinance and give it to us, then we can apply it for this year for the tax roll, but that ordinance has to be the proper ordinance filed with,
Well, that is the question. So the ordinances have been passed, but they're not being codified yet at Unicode. So, I mean, does that present a problem, or just the fact that the police jury adopted the ordinance clears the way to do it?
the way it was originally given, it referenced one on Unicode that was different. So as long as that's cleaned up before the end of July, we can put it on.
Well, that might be an issue. That's what we talked to them again today, and
It's there, they just haven't updated the
they
site.
operate on
But it
old
is,
ones.
it's there, it's been adopted.
I'll get with
we
you on that,
adopted
or
it
we'll
already.
talk with
Yeah,
y'all
they
attorney or
not,
whatever.
they don't update the site.
It's a
like
habit.
But we
every
don't go
month.
by that, we go by what we adopt them.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought too.
Yeah, Unicode is a service.
Or-
Unicode is a service, we advertise our ordinances.
We actually have the correct ordinance that was
Yeah.
adopted, so.
If the ordinance is worded the right way, we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any other questions with that?
Okay, nice. Hey, totally separate, but while we have you and your wisdom, House Bill 514 and 961 was passed by the House and the Senate. The governor hasn't signed it yet, but it was tax exempt for seniors. And it doesn't need, I was reading, it doesn't need the governor's signature in order to pass. It's gonna be an amendment that's gonna come up in November. Is that something that we can get from you on how it will impact, if there would
Yeah,
be
I can-
be a yes to that? But I was just reading it
I
on
can
the
run some
legislative
data.
report
Is that-
of what Jamie had gave us, and
I'd have
you know,
to
it
see.
could be significant, but I think as a jury as a whole, wow, I'm not against, but not
Was
the
that
voters.
Was that Farnham's bill?
Yes. But it said, I mean,
I
per
listened to some of
A.
that committee, that's pretty challenging how we're gonna implement that, but, I can try to run some numbers to see the impact. If I remember right, it's something to the effect that, right now you get a freeze. If you're 65 years of old and you make less than $100,000 adjusted gross, you can sign to lock the value of your home in.
Okay.
Where it's your homestead exemption. But this would extend it to where, once you're, say, 70, that's a threshold. 70 to 73, your homestead exemption would go up to like 90,000, and then 74 to 78, it would go up to 120. That was 4 or 5 tiers that it would go by. But it didn't really give a mechanism. Do the people have to come in and apply every time for us to put it, or how do you know the age of it? But we'd have to figure all that out, I guess, once it passes, but,
I'm just thinking about it as the jury, and you know, you have to prepare a budget for December, right? To pass for next year.
and
But
it-
then a
and it's kinda
decrease in
challenging to
revenue
come
that
up
happens
with
by the
how much revenue
voters.
these districts would lose, because we don't necessarily know if somebody's 70 years old and the spouse is 50 years old, was it the house that they inherited from their family that's homestead, or, we don't know the ages of the people in a lot of cases, but.
You think you need to get a lot more facts on that in the coming months before the election in November?
I don't know
How does
to
that
get
work for
those
your
ages.
office?
We don't have ages of who owns houses, but we can
Oh,
try to run
gotcha.
some numbers and let you know how many homestead and whatnot, the potential impact.
Right. It could be, hopefully, it will be some type of budgetary,
Oh, yeah,
difference
definitely.
or decrease.
And I
And
think-
every decrease we have is
I
very
think the way that
significant
bill
here.
was worded, where you couldn't make up for it with reassessment. In other words, when reassessment comes, you couldn't change the millage to make the younger people pay the difference. I think that had to be separate, where it wouldn't be a burden to the other taxpayers.
I follow you. Anything you have, please, if you could share, we'd appreciate it.
Would it-
Any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you. Just holler if I need some information, get the sheriff or whatever. and get it.
All right, next up, Miss Amy from Katy Net.
Good evening. For the month of May, we had a total of 803 calls for the parish. 600 of that was emergency, with 203 of non-emergency. Averaging a patient count per day of 26.4, with an average parish-wide response time of 15:53. Marksville continues to be the hot spot in the parish. Obviously, population does play a part in that, with Bunkie following, and then Simsport was actually third last month. Attended a few community events such as Couchon de Lay and the casino, Tunica Biloxi powwow and stuff. We'll be out there next weekend for the Corn Festival.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, I'd like Ms. Kimberly, the board, grant coordinator for RAFC to come up and speak to us. She's gonna be speaking pertaining to item 17 on the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. Jurors, I just wanted to speak quickly about your number 17 item that you have about the Bookies Record
Ma'am?
Service.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Is
I
this
don't think
on?
that's gonna help you. I think you
No?
just gotta holler.
I just gotta holler at you? Okay, I'll try to do that. It's pertaining to number 17 on your agenda. The Bookies Record Service is requesting half of the quoted amount for demolition of the Ward property. If you may recall, it took us a little while to sort of get that project back on track. We were able to do that and closed on the property in the February timeframe, got all the closing documents completed. Payment was made for the parish to purchase the property. From that point, we had to go into the abatement process. It took a little while to get the agreement drafted and then signed between Land Coast Environmental and the police jury to have the abatement taken care of. That process actually took a little bit longer than we were requested to give them initially. That did finally wrap up. We did the notice to proceed in March, very early March, and then the ultimate report was given dated the 27th of April. During that time, while that was occurring, I reached back out to Bookies Record Service because they had given us a really good bid on that demolition that was within budget. When I reached out to them, they indicated that they could do it for the originally quoted amount, even though that quoted amount was a few years old by this time. I said that was great. We went to work on the agreement, sent the agreement over to be signed. They signed it, the parish signed it, and then they came back about a month after they signed it and asked me a question about how the payment would be issued. So I was very upfront with them and explained that obviously we don't have any control over the GOSEP process for the multiple steps that requests for reimbursement have to go through to get payment issued. And that GOSEP does not do advance payments. So the way the process works is the work gets done, the documentation from the work is submitted along with the invoice. I file the reimbursement request. It goes through about 8 steps at GOSEP before it gets ultimate approval. And then they, at some point, will issue payment to the parish. Then the parish could pay Bookies Record. Well, once I explained that process to them, they then came back and said there's no way they could wait that long for their payment and wouldn't be able to do the work unless payment of half could be made up front. So I went back to GOSEP and I explained what happened, and they basically said that their process doesn't allow for advance payments any longer. So I contacted Mr. Darrell. I let him know what was happening and said what would be, the question then would be, their quote was for $17,536. That's all included, everything that they would have to do pertaining to the demolition. If you divide that by 2, that upfront payment would be $8,768. So your question that is listed for item 17 is for you to consider as the parish if you're willing to make that upfront payment to the Record Service so that I can continue the process and get the structure demolished and complete that grant that was administered to the parish from GOSEP and FEMA.
How long we been dealing with this Ward property?
A long time.
We had to fool with it years and years ago when it would flood.
Since I've been on here.
People would flood.
Yes, sir.
That was 20 years ago.
It's always been something. So that's
Yeah,
what.
there've been a lot of hurt. Well, the project started, but the planning commission wasn't involved in the beginning. I think the project kind of stalled. I don't really know what the reasons for that was. I just know that we were then contacted and asked if we would get involved. Once we got involved, we had to completely revise the budget because the initial budget that had been submitted didn't even contain all the pieces and parts, as it were, all of the line items that would be required to do an actual acquisition of a property and then a demolition. So we completely revised the budget. We had to send that back to GOSEP, and it had to work its way through all of their approval processes for amendments, which can take months and months and months. Once it was finally approved, then we had to start the process, go through the title and closing work, and that took a lot longer than anticipated, and there were a few hiccups with that process. But like I said, once we finally got that done in February, we've been able to move, pretty quickly in the next steps until this occurred. And like I said, they signed the agreement, and then you guys signed, and then they came back and asked about the payment process. And after I explained how that could possibly look, they were like, we can't. I guess and I understand that being a smaller entity, putting up that much work and then having to wait potentially 3, 4, 5, 6 months to get paid could be a
Do
problem.
you think they understood that it was grant money involved?
That was discussed multiple times.
So,
So the house is gone right now?
No, that's what
no,
we're
that's what
trying,
we're
that's
talking about.
the last step in the process is to get it demolished, and that's where we're hung up now. Is that the,
Yeah, but why they want
Dookies
money when they
record-
don't even have nothing done?
And they sign you.
well,
Well, they won't-
that's
they
kind of the
They
question.
want half of the money up front, and they're asking the jury to
she,
put the money up.
she presented this to me, and I said, whoa, I said, this is something we all need to be made aware of, so that's why I got it here. So this is where we at. If we want to proceed with it, I
We
guess
don't-
the difference you gotta weigh here is go ahead and do it, let them get this off the plate, or I guess we'd have to rebid and try to get somebody else to do the job. I don't know.
But if we do it and put up half the money,
It's a binding contract.
if we do it and put up half the money, we'll get the grant
Oh,
money, we'll get the grant money, and eventually it'll cost us zero.
Yeah.
So
That's
I think
correct.
We'll be
it would be
reimbursed,
feasible
but
to
it's
us to
just
put
the
half
idea
of the money up
Of
right
waiting.
It sounds to me like there's still some wrenches that could get thrown in here and stop the money from coming.
I don't think necessarily the money wouldn't come, period. It's just a matter of how long would it take. And
But how long is fine if it's gonna come?
Yes, yeah, and I haven't been given any indication from GOSEP that they're like, nope, you gotta cut it off, we're not gonna do this.
There's no more hoops.
They
The
do
hoops are all
ask me,
jumped.
right, they
Okay.
do ask me to explain kind of where we are in the process. So I have actually kept them very much in the loop of all of the hiccups and hurdles that have happened along the way and why things have taken a little bit of time. And I haven't gotten any pushback from them that, we're not gonna do this. It's just a matter of,
Not yet.
can we, right, that's true, that could happen tomorrow. That could happen by the time I get home tonight, who knows?
That's right.
So within the
So do we have
month
a
span, you said it
timeline?
could be like 4 to 5 or 6 months. And you said that's what's been since March. So are these months being counted? So let's say
No,
okay.
no, because this would be a matter of, so if you guys determine to make the upfront payment, I could go back to Bookie's record and say, look, here's the documentation that says the parish is gonna make the upfront payment. As soon as you guys issue that, the contract is signed, I can issue them a notice to proceed, let them do the demolition, and as soon as they can complete the demolition and submit their documents and their invoice to me, I can immediately turn that around and file that back to GOSEP to get the reimbursement request
It comes out of
process
solid
started.
waste?
Yeah.
I would think so, yeah.
Jacob,
So-
how do y'all do in the towns?
It's a different program, it's CDBG, not the.
Cause it don't take them 3 days, they're gone.
But we've been dealing with this for a while.
The
Yeah.
reimbursement process.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't take as long to get reimbursement through.
Through CDBG, yeah.
So
CDBG
GOSEP's
works
gotta-
a little faster.
GOSEP's gotta have, they wanna know job done, completed.
Yes,
before
they do. Yes, they do.
anything.
And I have the same thing. I have a grant that I do through the EPA. I submit through their online system, in like 3 days, we have the payment. This process with GOSEP and FEMA for HMGP and for flood mitigation assistance is the only grant we have that this process takes. And yes,
The question,
I've seen them approve really quickly, and then I've seen them
the
take months
question
to do
is,
it.
if we don't do this, then what do we do? I mean, we have to find somebody else, put it out for bid to clean it up again, go through that process?
Well, we would have to see if we could find another demolition contractor that would do it for the amount that's already been
But, you know,
approved.
again, I go back and say that they knew this was grant money. I think that was made that point had to be made during negotiations for the job, I would assume.
I'm sorry, you,
Yeah, for the grant, is there a expiration date for the grant?
there is a period of performance, and that's why GOSEP is kind of staying in contact with me saying, you know, where are we on this? And so I've been very much keeping them in the loop on that, and we can request an extension if we bump up against that period of performance deadline.
Mr. Dyer, I'm gonna make at the next meeting,
Okay.
go ahead and, go forward with this.
Okay, we'll,
Yeah, you had a question too.
Yeah, I want to go back to the procurement side of it. Did you say bids were received?
Yes.
Am I right or wrong?
You're correct,
Okay, so how many bids were received?
3. But the others were, the other hiccup that we run into in HMGP grants is they ask you to get bids, but then they tell you you have to use the lowest.
You have to use the lowest.
You have to use the lowest bid.
Has any work been done yet?
As far as demolition is concerned, no, sir. All of the other work leading up to demolition has been completed.
So we can't use a different group.
No, sir. No, sir. We had, right, and I think it's just because the cost being close to 18,000, I think for a small company, it's probably difficult.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Seeing that they signed
The
that
other-
contract, isn't it binding? I mean, since they've already signed.
I mean,
Track order,
it
don't take
is,
it.
but I also can't go force them to do the work either, unfortunately.
Charlie?
The other point to Bouquets would be that they need to understand that the jury would put this up half of it, but we're not responsible for the other half.
That's correct. That's
They
correct.
need
When
to know
their,
that.
their actual email to me said requesting half up front.
I saw that.
So that's all they would get. And I did share that email with Mr. Darrell when I
Just so
reached
they
out to
know
him to
that
let him know.
if
That's correct.
The
All they
grant
would
doesn't
get,
come through, we're not coming back with more.
that's correct, yes. And I did email them back and say, okay, I reached out to the police jury president to let him know your request. It's going to be presented at the council meeting, and we will just have to get back to you with their decision on whether or not they will do this.
We'll know something Tuesday.
That's fair enough.
Mr. Carter?
Did the other 2 bidders know that possibly the police jury was going to put up half of the payment?
No.
That's my concern.
Well, and I'm not negative towards any of this, but remember, on fair and competitive bid rules in Louisiana, all information has to be there. Now, if something changes after the fact, can it be rebid? That's the only concern that I would have if somebody would come back and say, police jury or GOSEP. That wasn't stated upon when this was originally bidded out. Maybe that's why the other bids are higher. These other companies know it takes
Well,
3 to
so-
6 months for
That's
getting their money
exactly.
back, right?
The-
I
the
don't
other
know, and
bids
I'm
were
not against
given-
my local company getting the work
Yes,
or helping
yes, I
in any
understand
way.
that.
It just,
Yes. So,
did you check on that or not?
well, I can, yes. I can inquire about that. There were 3 companies that provided bids way back when the process first started. So that was the other issue, is it wasn't bid out correctly in the beginning. There was just like a random budget presented. So when we got involved, we started looking at it and we're like, well, there's no way this budget is going to work because you're not even accounting for multiple steps in the process. So I actually had to go back through and start at the beginning, and I had to issue a request for bids. So I had to issue requests for bids for the asbestos testing. I had to issue requests for bids for the abatement, and that's if you found a company that couldn't do both, or the same with demolition. If you're a demolition company and you can provide abatement and demolition, then break out that cost for me. Tell me how much the abatement will cost and tell me how much the demolition will cost. The 3 demolition companies only stated they would do demolition. So then I had 3 separate abatement quotes and then 3 separate demolition quotes. And then under HMGP guidelines, they ask you to go with the lowest bidder. So those 3 companies bid, not knowing what each other bid. It just turned out that Bouquets was the lowest. We used them in the budget that got sent to GOSEP, and that's what got approved. And at this point, I can't go back and ask them for more money. I have to try to do the project within the budgeted amount that's already been approved. So I could go back to other bidders at this point, but I would have to say, I realize your bid was this, but can you do it for less? And this many years later, I don't, it's highly unlikely that they would do that.
Is the jury being asked to front the money, the half, or to put it up and be on, and that money's not gonna be recouped?
Same thing, yeah, we're supposed to come up.
Get it back.
Bookies won't do the work unless they have half the money.
So you guys will.
Grant won't do it, we have to do
And
it.
then you get your money back.
We'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a reimbursement program. But my point is, they knew this was a grant from the get-go, and now that they got the bid, then they're gonna start setting terms. I got an issue with that, but I guess it's business. I mean, it's either they're out 8,000 whatever or us, so.
Well, we're not actually out.
Well, I know, but
It's a time thing.
But normally when you do something like that, the money is there already, right?
Yeah.
Money is there already.
All
Pay
these
them when they-
hurricanes that came up, we had to wait 3 or 4 years for our money.
you probably gonna
So,
wait
right,
some on this one too.
And in the case of an HMGP grant, it's typically, which this is under, it's typically related to a presidentially declared disaster. So there has been an allocation of money to the parish. This was one of the projects that you elected to do with that money. So the money is sitting there, but they're not going to issue payment in advance until the work is complete.
And that's just how that grant works.
Yeah.
That's just how the HMGP, and I also have annual competitive flood mitigation grants. They operate the same way. The work has to be done, and then you submit all of the invoices and the documentation, then they review it and ultimately approve.
Okay, well, thank you, Ms. Kim, I wanna make sure.
Man, after all this is cleared up, I mean, a lot is cleared up, can we sell that?
There will be a deed restriction placed on it.
I
that
know you can't build on it no
build a
more.
structure on it.
Because we have other pieces of property that people
Yes.
have asked
I
to
think
buy.
the parish owns it at that point. You can, I can't tell you what you can or can't do with it. There just cannot be a structure
Yeah.
built on that site. It
That
has
has
to
to be the
remain,
stipulation.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
do
I know that
sign-
you can't build on it, but
Right,
some people
and-
want it for their, to add to their profit.
yeah, and that's fine. They're just, that deed restriction that gets signed by the parish needs to be conveyed to whoever purchases that you cannot build on this site, and that we have signed a deed restriction stating you cannot build on this site.
We
Okay.
can't sell it.
We all know where we're at on 17. Thank you, Ms.
I
Kim.
can't tell you what you can do after it. You'll own it, that's up to you. Okay?
Thank you,
All
ma'am.
right, thank you.
All right,
I still have a question.
all right, you have one?
Not necessarily for you. Could we use some other form of demolition?
Why can't the jury do it?
That's what I'm
How about that
asking.
question, yeah.
Man, we got, put 2 track holes on there and one day it's gone.
Right.
Well, you would have to follow
Huh?
like any licensing and permitting requirements.
The
And
one
all of the
factor is it's
debris
not-
has
it's
to be
not our
called
money.
off, and
We
those
can't
tickets
just
have
throw
to be
around money, I
presented.
don't think,
All
on
that
the grant
documentation has to be
process.
presented.
But all that's still doable.
Yes, sir.
If we're putting up the money, we ought to be able to maybe make the money.
I don't,
Mr. Darrell, my only suggestion to that would be, if she can help, is that we get the Louisiana procurement team in Baton Rouge to sign off on something stating that the police jury is allowed to use the people's money in a grant programming process. That has nothing to do with the police jury, right? This was no match to the police jury.
No.
Now it's being asked of us. I'm sure the jury's willing to help, but again, we have auditors too. And when
No,
they
I-
come back for the $8,768,
Yeah.
where in law were you allowed to do this? What do
Okay,
we
I
answer
think-
at that point?
I could certainly ask that question. It's like I said,
That would
I
be my
did,
concern
I did
tonight.
present to GOSEP that this was the problem that I was running into, because I specifically said, okay, here's what occurred. Now this company is stating that they won't be able to do the work unless half of the money is submitted up front. What are my alternatives here? And basically the response was that GOSEP is not going to make an advance payment. That's pretty much all I was
We
told.
wouldn't be
So
having this
it's,
problem if Bookies would just do what they agreed to do.
Is
I
there
don't
any
know
way
the
to hold
program,
their
I
feet
don't
to
know,
the
you know,
fire?
we're kind of out there.
How long ago did they sign this contract?
They signed in April.
This year?
Yes, sir.
Cool, so,
It sounds to me like a
And
deal.
then you guys signed secondarily at the beginning of May.
That sounds to me like a deal.
It sounds to me like a deal too.
Either-
I'm just
either
not
do
sure
it or
how I
face the
can force
Well,
it.
that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you guys may be able to have a conversation with them and convince them otherwise. I don't think I can physically go down there and force them to do the work,
Sure.
but,
We can't do that either, but we can coerce them. Maybe.
Well, I'm gonna echo what Mr. Frank said. We're talking about taxpayers' money. So we playing banker with the taxpayers' money, and I don't like it.
so you do have the option to tell them no. And then if you do that, then we go back to kind of the drawing board on the demolition side. We go to another contractor and say, hey, this amount was approved. Can you do it?
Okay.
The payment, I don't think, I think it's just, I could go back and read through and see exactly what the language says in it, but I don't necessarily recall that that is in there. I think it's just an agreement that the police jury, basically has this property, it's under an HMGP grant, here's the work that you say you're gonna do, you have to have, liability insurance, blah, 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 but I don't think anything like that is in there.
But then what do you do if you give him the money up front, give him half of the money, and the next day he doesn't show up for work? I mean, he doesn't have a bond, so what do you do?
I guess you sue him.
We could do that now.
Yeah.
Jacob, y'all pay them after they tear them down? After it's finished?
Okay. Well,
Thank you for the good news.
I'm so sorry.
we'll hash it out some more.
There've been a lot of hiccups with
Yeah, it's
this
just-
one for some reason. Now, Mr. Ward, the property owner, has been fantastic. He was so patient, and he would just periodically check in, and I would let him know where things stand, and he was great through the whole process. Once we worked, and the asbestos testing and actually the abatement process were really smooth. The tiling closing work had a few hiccups along the way, and then we hit this when we got to the demolition, and this is the last piece of the process.
I can't get over how that guy bought that house after knowing, but I don't know if he knew, but it flooded about 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I don't know how long Mr. Ward lived there.
Not long,
Really?
nope.
Yeah.
Much?
And of course, he lives somewhere up in the north now. I mean, he doesn't even live
Not
there
there no more.
anymore.
He lives on top of the mountain.
As soon as
Okay,
he moved in, it flooded.
Oh, bless his heart. That's terrible. Well, I did see some pictures of the flooding that he had. Yeah, I did. And then I actually went, when we first took over, I went and looked at it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Well, if you guys have any more questions, you know how to reach me. I can try to answer them as best I can, and then you guys just let me know what your decision is.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
ma'am.
Move on to the committee reports. First up, we'll have a finance report for Secretary of Treasury. Ms. James.
Thank you, Julie Floyd, for bringing up, it should be there, go back to the first one. So I did something a little different. This is, if you want to go back to the report from Mr. Ward. Go ahead. Okay, this is the first page. This is the report. It's not the entire 90-page report, but what happens is it starts with the highest tax remitter in the parish. I just felt like if everybody would get a chance to see exactly what we received from sales tax, from vendors in the parish, it gives a better idea of what's really going on as far as local dollars and what's spent online. So if you want to just have a look here, we can start with this page. There's several more, but as the report goes, the total amount collected per vendor starts to go down. till you get to like in the hundreds, a couple of $100, and from there it just drops
All
off.
sales tax?
Yes, sir, it's sales tax. But the reason why I wanted to share this with everyone was to kind of give everyone an overview of, you know, of the 500,000 that was collected, I think it was like 212,000 was the local in-store brick and mortar purchases. Everything else was online. So it seems like we're at a time where everybody wants to online shop, which is convenient, but then it cuts us out of some tax money too.
Amazon still charges tax?
Yes.
You paid $90,000.
Yeah.
Oh, are any of these people still in the ITEP program?
None that I went through. I went through all 90 pages. None of those that I've seen on here, or ITEP. There's another report that I did not put on here. I thought I had scanned and uploaded, but it's the hotel motel tax. And what's happening with that, there's a disconnect somewhere. I think I know where, and I really think that the jury needs to go to the school board and really start, you know, beating on the door and saying, hey, we need to figure out who's not paying these taxes, because we have, this is vetted information, we have over 17 Airbnbs in the parish. There's only 3 paying.
Oh.
So somewhere somebody has to start policing. And I would tend to believe it would be them, since they charge
They're the
us a fee
collector.
to collect, correct. And that would be, I mean, I know who some of them are, but they're just simply not paying. So I think that would be a good starting point to say, hey, what are we doing to police this situation? We need our money, you know.
How many Airbnbs you said?
There's at least 17.
Do they all have operational licenses?
I didn't check on that yet.
That's where you start.
Well, I know that's really, is that really what I'm supposed to be doing, or the people that are collecting? I'm just finding out by looking and saying.
That's the school board.
School board. But,
When you go to the school board, they'll tell you it's up to the sheriff to write the
oh, well,
license.
of course. But I think I just wanted to let everybody know so that we can maybe start a process of trying to get with them.
Trying to get it cleaned up.
To get it cleaned up.
We've already, the tourist commission, who benefits from all those, and who advertises all of them, have already turned down several of them for advertisement.
Right.
Because they are not paying the taxes, and
Right.
they don't even have an occupational license, even though they're doing it.
That's
Tourist commission has been with the school board
But they're not.
to make
changing-
that request,
but
and we
this
haven't
has
gotten
been-
any response
Yeah, it's
back.
been ongoing. It's not, they're
Yeah,
not doing
it's-
anything to fix it. And I think there's more and more Airbnbs that are being put out for, you know, for
The
rent.
estimate is there's about 28 of them in the
There's
parish.
probably more than what I actually saw. That was just scanning through. But, for sure, there's 17, for sure.
Mr. Frank?
I just have a receipt. I just looked up on one of the Airbnbs that I did in Lafayette, and it has it in there for the charge, the Airbnb service fee, and the taxes. So what that's telling me is that there is a process in here with Airbnb. Now, I don't know when you set up a property and you don't put in any taxes, or you say, you know, no taxes apply. I don't know that, but there is a mechanism in these rental programs
I
that
think it is.
automatically, and then
But
you
I
know that
think
would
they're
be tied
not.
to the school board.
What's happening is they're not remitting it.
So
They're
it might be in
collecting
the
it.
setup of Airbnb. I'm just looking at that from a
It's
receipt.
possible, but nonetheless, they should be
Yeah.
on top of it,
I agree.
trying to figure out
I didn't see it.
what's going on.
She can get you.
But she has some more listed on here, and if anybody needs a copy of it, I'll be more than happy to make one. I plan on doing this kind of every month, just to give you an overview of everything that's going on. Everything else, Ms. Laura, if you wanna go back pages before, this is our revenue compared, so you're gonna do actual, budget to actual on the revenue and expense side. As of today, everything's stable. All of our revenues and expenditures continue to be monitored to make sure we're in compliance with our budget laws. That's revenue. We can go to the expense side, Ms. Laura. everything is well where it should be when you look at what's budgeted to what's actual. And then the next page is our cash balances. And there you go. Looks like there's an increase overall throughout all of our funds. A slight decrease with the HUD admin fund. That's a federal program, so there's gonna be some delay with it. So, if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions? All right, thank you. Next up, Mr. Joey with OSEP.
Ladies and gentlemen. Just a couple of things on the OSEP side. The last 2 Fridays, or 3 weeks ago, start off with a micro boast. It started out in Bunkie, came through Evergreen, ended up in Proseville, DuPont area, which was quite a few homes, a lot of trees. I think Kevin still picking up trees in some areas. The Friday after that, we had the cross tires that you asked about that was burning on the railroad tracks in Simsbury. And that was a fiasco.
How did that start, Joe?
I think somebody started.
Because wasn't it brought up, Jacob, the other day about?
Yeah, actually, we met that Tuesday and that Friday.
That's right.
Yeah, called over there.
Yeah.
Somebody must have saw that on the.
Yeah. It was a set, I think it was a set fire. I mean, because it was different piles in different areas, so.
Yeah, I think trash. You can burn that fire down the road.
Yeah.
That's like trash, like it's flying. And pop the other side of the fire.
So, we had that, and then this past Tuesday night we had the hurricane planners meeting. Had several people there. Had the National Weather Service, the sheriff, mayors. I thought it was a pretty good thing. Acadian provided a meal, very good meal for us. So I'd like to again tell her thank you. I don't know what this is. Yeah. And that's what I have right now.
Joey, the other day when the electrician went out, the generator ran all right? It ought to be good in case of a hurricane. I said it ought to be good if a hurricane
Oh, yes,
comes.
sir. Oh, yeah. Well, I run it, a lot of times I'll come back on a Saturday and run it for 3 or 4 hours, just run it. I don't like to switch because it causes problems. Whenever you do switching, just with the computers and everything else, and go from there. But I'll come out on a Saturday and turn it on, let it run for a couple of hours or so. Anything else?
Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all.
You don't want to talk about the awning, no?
It's already on the.
It's on the agenda.
If you let
Oh,
us
it's
get
okay.
to it, I'll have it all up on the
Yeah.
screen, so you'll be able to see it.
All right, next up, Mr. Kevin, Road, Bridges, and Drainage.
Hello, everybody. As Joey said, he called it a microburst, I call it a major storm. Bunkie, as far as I know, Bunkie's cleaned up, Postville's cleaned up. Mayor St. Romain said he's got a little bit left. When it dries up, he'll call us, we'll go pick that up. We still probably have 150 yards plus or minus left in Evergreen village limits to pick up. And then I really can't tell you how much we have left on our roads, because we've been helping the villages clean up their stuff and try to do our roads too. So I know we still have, at the top of my head, 6 or 8 roads that we just have this tree just sitting on the sides. As of today, we are at around 70 loads of trees brought to the Greenway site, and somewhere around 50 of that has come from Evergreen. For a few days in Plotesville and Evergreen, we had 2 trucks running, the White Goose truck and our big truck, running all day to try to help them catch up. Bunkie wasn't that bad. Placerville was hit. Placerville has the means to clean a lot of their own stuff up. Evergreen was hit extremely hard, especially around the cemetery, the center of town, and they don't have the means to really do much of anything. You know, one employee, I think they have.
None.
Huh?
We got a hired guy to cut grass.
Yeah.
But we hired a crew to come in and clean up the cemetery.
Yeah, and they got everything out to the
We had to
roadway.
Basically
Pick
pay
up.
for it,
Yeah, yeah, we don't go out on private property to pick up, they gotta get it to the road. So,
What about the trees that are down in the bayous?
we'll go get them.
Okay.
We
I got
just
like
have to log
30
them in.
behind my house that are down in the
Okay.
bayou.
That runs, we'll go take care of that. We've got a log of some of them already, I don't think I have those though. That's where we're at with a bunch of our work. Drainage has been moving along slow. It got back on a good rhythm this week. We've been putting culverts in on the Beauregard Lemoyne Treasury job, getting ahead of the stone that's coming on that. We had a road and bridge committee meeting last Friday morning. Talked about a couple pickups, that's on y'all agenda. As of last Friday morning, our stone was at $205,000 for the year. As of today, we're at $230,000 for the year. Been raining a lot, you know, but it still puts us under budget for the 6 months. I think we're gonna hold it around that $250,000 for our 6 months. That would be at budget. Fuel had went up, came down a little bit. Last time we bought fuel, just about 10 days ago, 8 days ago, something like that. The tax-paid fuel had went back up 20 cents. But the gas and off-road fuel had went down 30 cents. So we're running over budget on our fuel, not a lot, just a few, like 15,000 over budget, okay? Which still, that's not a whole lot. Miss Jamie would be screaming at me if it was a lot.
Okay.
So, but not a whole lot we can do about that, you know? We've got another big truck that we're trying to get to the shop in Alexandria. Kenworth's fixed, it's running and doing good. We have another one that went down, so I have to see what that's gonna be on that bill. We've gotten paid for the repairs on the Faith Baptist Bridge, accident, where the truck had run off of the bridge. Progressive Insurance, we billed them, they paid the $3,937.46. So, Sheriff's Office has been picking up, trash on, some roads towards Placerville. Supposed to move to Bowling Alley next. A few other little things, but anybody have any questions? Solid waste pit is doing good. We're still waiting on the pump to come in. As soon as the pump comes in, we'll have to make arrangements to either rent something portable to pump the water down so we can put the automatic pump in. Okay. Once that's in, then we'll start working on our fences that y'all have already approved and the camera systems and stuff.
What kind of pump does Kerry use?
He used to run like a 4-inch pump.
Can bore it for a little
I've
while?
already talked to him. We're gonna try to work something out. Yeah.
I've had a couple of calls on construction waste. Is it they on their own for that?
Yes, sir. We're not licensed for that. In Mansura or.
Either place.
Or the Greenways pit. Hopefully we will be licensed in the next 6 months. So, or some other spots.
Construction material?
C&D waste, yeah. Now, if they got a little bit from their house, on a trailer load or something like that, or pickup load, we can take that in Mansura. But once you get to big trailer loads and things like that, they need to go to Alexandria.
I'm just gonna tell
Yeah,
them. that.
contractor should have his dumpster.
Yeah. But a lot of times it's the people doing their own work. Yeah, and so we have to take those.
They gotta
on-
bring that to they gotta bring that to the yard.
Well, if it's an individual doing his own work, if it's something within reason where he's not filling up 2 dumpsters or anything, we can,
Okay.
we try to accommodate. But if we had one the other day, what he wanted to bring would have filled up $1,200 worth of dumpsters. No, I'm sorry, you have to take that to Alexandria. You know, so I'm glad you brought that up. We've been having some issues with everybody coming to the yard saying, I'm not a contractor, I'm doing this for myself.
You really are.
Right, and so Mr. James has been having to work a little harder because he knows most of these people. When he's back there, we had one this week that kind of blew up on him, you know, because when the man came in last week, he wasn't asking no questions. We had somebody in there that's getting schooled now for whenever he's in there. Mr. James, you know, he asked the questions and everything else. And I told him, man, you're either gonna be nice to him or you out the yard. You can't do that. I can kick you out right now, you know, for cussing my guard out. You know, we try to accommodate everybody in the parish, but y'all have a tax and y'all put it out there for the people, for residential pickup. And then through the years, the jury has expanded to try to help the people, you know, with refrigerators and freezers and sofas. Y'all didn't have none of this when all this started. Y'all started all this after. So, you know, we can't have everybody coming in there with dump trailers that are 16 and 20 foot long. When they bring 2 or 3 loads, they tell me I'm not a contractor. There's something wrong with this picture. So anyway, we try to get along with everybody and try to help the people out as much as we can. Okay.
I see the Monofield's next on here. Do you got anything, any report on it? Comment report?
We had just a phone call from Jenny on, I'm trying to remember exactly what all went on right there, on the Monofield. Well, any updates or anything like that. So while she was on the phone with me, I got DEQ on the phone, so everybody was on speaker. DEQ has the money allocated for the Monofield cleanup, and right now we're working on to see what can be done to do a quick claim on the Casey property, the next door property, or Heath, what is it?
That's for that young couple?
Whatever you call that, where do away with their ownership. And so that person from Opelousas came back to DEQ and wanted a good bit of money to pay for lawyer fees and back taxes and everything else. So Miss Jenny figured it up and came up with somewhere around $2,000, $2,500 that they were out of taxes. And so I think she's going to come back once they get some paperwork, more stuff done. And if they will approve that, was to make a recommendation to y'all to pay that quick claim, whatever you call it, to get the property back in to our name. Once that happens, the police jury will be legal to go on the property and get the tires out. Department of Corrections has already committed personnel and equipment also. They would be legal to come on the property also and get the tires out. Okay. So she's working on all that. We asked her to go ahead and call the people and not make a offer, just tell them, look, if the jury approves, well, you'll accept this. It was a whole lot less than what they wanted, but we thought it was fair, you know. So, but right now, the jury nor Department of Corrections really has legal access to go on that property and get those other 25,000, 30,000 tires that's sitting in those weeds. Because I asked them, I said, well, if we start now, can the jury just go in there and since the property taxes have been paid, get those tires off, bring them on the side that is fully adjudicated, and then everybody be legal? And they said no, because once she's quit paying, you have to go back through the whole 5-year process again. So DEQ does have a considerable amount of money sitting there to chip everything up.
Kevin, how about all the tires along the road all the way over there?
That's a separate project, but that is included in it if we can make it work for the money.
There's just as many tires on the side.
Yeah, you got about 1,000, 1,200 on the side. You got 50,000 sitting in the back. So.
For drainage.
That's kind of where we're at on that.
Okay.
The money is still there, but they're still working on it pretty hard.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
you.
you. All right, Ms. April, permits.
Good afternoon. I don't have the full report that I normally give. I do have the total permits for last month, which was 172, which is what we normally do. I passed out a copy of an email I got from Raheeds to all of you. It states that their fees will be going up, which will affect the total permit cost for all of our customers. The main fee that's going up is the inspection fee. The normal, on here it's listed as a trade permit. The normal fee for that is $75. That's like an electrical inspection, simple things like that. That's going up to $90. The one that's going up the most is the mobile home permits. Right now, if you come to get a mobile home permit, our fee is 20 cents per square foot plus that $75 inspection fee. Robert inspects the plumbing and electrical just with that $75. You get your permit the same day. Now, It says something in here about something passed in the legislature where it has to go through plan review now. So from $75, a mobile home fee will be $350 plus our fee, which is based on square footage. So a typical mobile home permit for a 16 by 80 with everybody's fees is about $330. It's gonna be a lot more now. Pool permits, Rapide's fees were 200 flat, now they're gonna be 400. Cell towers were 1% per construction cost, now it's gonna be 3%. So I wanted y'all to know that in case y'all get some phone calls, or it starts July 1st.
But that's not us, it's them.
That's not our fees,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Our fees are the same.
People, they're all gonna say it's us, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we continue to depend on someone else rather than us do it ourselves, but everybody talks, not everybody. I just, this, we have no control over because we're using somebody else. It's not bidded, it's not just been one company. And,
Well, we've tried to get somebody to do it. Believe you
that was
me.
done 15 years ago, I understand, but we're in 2026. I mean,
Get
you
'em.
know, do you know, Miss April, is there any way you could guesstimate, not exact, how much that, if we go by these new, in 2000, you know, in a 1 year time span, how much more will inspections cost the people of Avoyelles Parish from July 1st on? If you just take 1 year and just say you had 300, you know, mobile home permits and 500 new homes, you know, you already have the data already, how much more this increase would cost us, so that we know what a number is to say, okay, we're giving Red River 250,000 a year rather than 125. I don't know the number, but is there any data that we could get from you that would guesstimate, not exact to the dollar, but you do know how many permits you've done, 25, so then you can apply this new cost and see what the difference would be. But it might be at an amount that's up there that would warrant us as a police jury to look at other options. You know, start talking about $200,000 or $300,000. You can hire a couple of people and you can train them, and we can give it a shot, Mr. Borrell. It would be my vote, but I'm only one.
We tried that, I promise you, many times.
Want her to look at it. Get an
Yeah,
idea.
it seems like it. What if they go next year again? Take a lashing again?
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Ms. Danielle Hood.
Hello. So we're still moving pretty slow. We're down to 122 tenants. This last month, sorry, we had 5 recertifications, 4 interims, and 4 annual inspections. That's it.
Any questions? Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Candy, Library.
Good afternoon. I'm here to report on library activities from May to June. Our total number of new library card signups was 54. Checkouts in terms of physical books, we had over 1,330 physical book checkouts, 1,035 ebooks, for a total of 2,365 checkouts today. Technology-wise, we had 172 computer users branch-wide and a total of 1,072 Wi-Fi sessions. In terms of programs and community engagement in May, we had 10 programs with a total number of attendees being 129 branch-wide. Our summer reading program has commenced as of June 1st. True Mission Matters Project, which is a performing arts group dedicated to empowering today's youth by encouraging self-expression and creativity through the arts, will be performing June 5th at the following locations: Bunkie Library Meeting Room, 9 a.m., Casey Hall in Cottonport at 12 p.m., and the Fox Theater here in Marksville at 3 p.m. We're really excited for this particular group to come out after kind of
reviewing some of their performances at other libraries over previous summer reading programs. And since it's performing arts, we gave them a shot. We're really confident that we'll have a good turnout for that event tomorrow. And some new developments is that we launched our first literary journal. It's called the Gator Gazette. This new publication, our goal for that is to spotlight local talent here in the parish. And we're offering writers and artists of all ages a platform to share their work. The Gazette represents a bold step in celebrating, preserving, and elevating the rich cultural spirit of Avoyelles Parish. And as of June 1st, we opened submissions. Any questions?
So Candy, about the renovations at the library.
Yes, so I followed up last week with, I'm waiting on the other person because we only had those 2 bids for clarifications. I followed up with him last week, and I'm hoping to hear from him. If not tomorrow, then I will follow back up with him on Monday. So we should be getting that squared away in the upcoming week.
All right.
Any other questions?
Ms. Candy, we want
Yes.
to talk about that. Just I don't think we need a vote on this, but yesterday there was an announcement. It's actually, don't laugh, it's called the A2FA grant, and it's for computers, specifically Apple products that the state broadband office announced yesterday, and we have to apply to it by July 15th. So in reading it, also the libraries is a very good fit. So I hit up Jamie and Candy today. And anyway, we're just going to try to submit a grant. There's no limit as to how many devices, but it's, checkout devices, computer labs for the public. It's just for public use. So
Yes, and
we're going to try to own that grant and try to get one for the library. I'll be helping them.
And I do have a couple of devices I would like to apply for the library. And they're just in different categories, one of them being telehealth.
Yep.
That could be
That's one of the qualifying
Yeah, one of
factors
the
of it.
qualifying ones, so, yeah. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Barrett, letter statement.
Good evening, everyone. All right, so for the month of May, we had court last night. We had 9 people that were supposed to appear for court. We had 4 that showed up, 5 no-shows. Out of that, 2 of them paid the fines, the max of the fines, or the total amount of the fines. And the other 2 were given some extensions, which were basically court-ordered extensions. Property standard cases, numbers kind of moved around a little bit. We had 1 more that was completed. She was actually at court last night. They completed cleaning up her property. So that's 1 more in the plus. We got 43 that are still in progress. My condemnation for grants kind of went down a little bit because we had some people that started some work. It's not 100% complete, but they've got a lot done on these properties, and I'm looking at they're probably going to be complete before we get to put them on our grant list. So we knew that was going to happen. Some people just decided to do it on their own, like we talked about before we got them on the list. New cases, we currently have 7 completed to date. Whether it was the ones we did or the ones that are completed by the homeowners themselves was 32. And then we have 6 that are other. Those are just legal stuff that's tied up in successions or whatever that we got them on the back burner just till we figure out the legal mumbo jumbo. So a total of 104 property standard cases so far to date. I'm gonna skip over all the stuff that's zeros. Surveillance sites, I got all 6 of my cameras set up right now in 2 different locations. I'm running those cameras and checking them every 2 weeks, swapping out SD cards and batteries and just leaving them on these dump sites, letting them record data. And hopefully we'll get a bunch of tickets off of those. These are extremely active dump sites. The signs have been made for the trailer. I brought one in here. That was Miss Jamie that designed this. Did a very good job, I think.
Thank you.
We have 3 of them. I picked them up today. And then I talked with Mr. Kevin. I'll be getting the trailer to bring over to have the sides raised on it. And then I'll probably go ahead and bring the signs with them so that the guy can, figure out how they're going to be mounted on the trailer. That way when we pick up the trailer, it's a finished trailer. The signs are mounted. Everything's where it needs to be. He got all the supports to support the sign and all that business.
Barry.
Yes,
We're also
sir.
discussing about raising the size to the trailer.
That's what I just talked about, yeah. I got with Kevin, he's got the shop that did the fenders and stuff. I'll go pick up the trailer, or his guys will bring it, and we'll tell them what we want. So it's gonna basically need like a 4-foot side with some expanded metal all the way around, and then the signs will go on each side and one on the back.
My bad, must have missed it.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Education efforts. So I'm looking for some volunteers. I know I spoke with Ms. Jenny, a couple other people out in the public. Looking for some volunteers to speak to the youth, K through 5 age groups. And specifically during summertime, while they're out of school right now, there's all kind of library events. There's all kind of places where we have these young children congregated, where we can introduce 45 minutes of some kind of litter education. I'll be trying to get a list of those things that are going on through Miss Candy and Miss Jenny and all the other people that always volunteer for stuff. And we'll try to get some youth stuff going during the summer while they're out. I've already done one in Plocherville. We did receive our reimbursement money for our cameras. We got our money back. So if you want to give it back to me, I'll go buy some more. I did look into the new grant for this year, and we kind of screwed because they tailored it to where now you have to be a law enforcement entity to put in for it. So apparently there were some people out of the 10 groups that got approved that didn't do everything they were supposed to do, and they're not using the cameras the way they're supposed to be using them and reporting data and everything that we have been doing. So they're making it specific. They want law enforcement commissioned officers that can go out and write tickets and everything. Apparently they have some ordinance issues or whatever. They don't have all our stuff worked out to the level that we at, and it's not working out. So I talked to Travis Hooval, and he said, yep, he said it's shut off. You have to be a legal facility.
That's just for the grant, right?
Just for the camera grant, yeah, which is the only one I'm really concerned about. The rest of them are pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Our next litter court, just for the record, is July 1st at 6 o'clock at the Hesma City Hall. And I know Mr. Darrell's going to announce this later on, but I just wanted to hit it in case he forgets. The next Property Standards Hearing Committee meeting will be the 15th of July, which is the third Wednesday, at 0900 hours. So that's a change that the litter committee voted on, or the litter committee talked about. I don't know if I need to vote on that. So instead of doing 1:30, it's going to be moved up to 9 o'clock in the morning. But it's going to stay.
We're not having one in June.
What did I say? July?
Yeah.
15.
Okay, so whatever, so it'll be the third Wednesday in June. I'm sorry, I must have overlooked June altogether.
June 16th.
Yeah, it is 16.
At 9 a.m.
Yeah,
Okay.
9 a.m. in the morning.
I'll make a change.
So I already talked to everybody involved with the sending out the letters and stuff, permit officer, from now on, all our letters will be 9 o'clock instead of 1:30, which I think works out better for the general public, because instead of having to go to work, leave, come to a meeting, and go back to work, now they can just come to the meeting.
We'll see.
Other than that, that's about it. That's all I got, unless y'all got any questions. We're just continuing to grow things.
At the town council meeting last month, they were saying, asking me if you were going around town. You are?
I've written some tickets here in Marksville.
Okay, well.
So I think there's some confusion there, because I've gotten some feedback on that, and I'm not gonna name any names, but there's some people going around saying that I'm not writing tickets in the city of Marksville.
Well,
The tickets do not go through the city court of Marksville, they go through our litter court.
Yeah.
And I think that's the confusion.
Well, can't the city police write tickets?
They can, absolutely, yeah.
Well, they
I'm just
depend
an
on you.
extra help.
I know.
But in most
Doesn't make
municipalities,
sense.
they're not.
Oh, I know.
At the same meeting, I asked the person that's in charge of beautification in Marksville, and so I asked him, I said, are there typical places that just recur with litter and problems that you see? And he said he did. What I mentioned to him is that with these chronic places that are always like that, as they go around to pick up litter in town, if he would contact you just to give you an idea, this is a place that it continues to happen. It would save you might have
So what I plan on doing, I forgot to mention that when I was talking about the camera grant. So those municipalities that have law enforcement can now apply for those cameras as well, just like we can.
Put the bug in
So
there.
let them apply, let
That's
them
right.
get their own cameras, and if they want me to go train their people, or even I'll go set
That
up,
would be great.
I can, that'll give me more cameras to operate, and let me write the tickets, but they apply for the grant and get the cameras.
Oh, that would be great.
But I'm only doing it with the municipalities that signed our agreement, the ones that did, they can get their own cameras.
Barry, can I ask one more question? The cameras that you have set up for the dump sites and so on, will you be on the lookout for people who are dumping animals as well? Because it might be, double duty.
I mean, I'd have to turn that evidence over to the sheriff's department.
Good,
Yeah.
good, okay.
Well, I mean, I'll have it, yeah, we'll have it on.
Have you run across any of that before?
I just see stray dogs running in front of my camera.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody physically dump one yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we did the
right.
horse, what was a horse that?
Horse, a donkey,
Old River.
a donkey.
Wow.
Bowling Alley Road. Is there a camera on that road?
So the cameras we have are not gonna catch that. The
Oh,
cameras
that,
we
don't
have.
forget, there's some people that throw some garbage down
Yes,
there.
and these cameras are not fast enough to catch somebody through. These cameras are designed, they're license plate read cameras. They have the quickest trigger speed of any kind of trail camera that's available. It's a law enforcement camera, but it's made to set where somebody's gonna spend a little bit of time there. I got 2 cameras facing each direction to get license plates, and I got a camera on their dump site.
Oh, no, that's
So
people
these
just
cameras
throwing
are
it
all
out the
going
window.
off. Every quarter second, all 3 of these cameras are going off, taking pictures of every movement. I mean, I got a guy who gets out of his truck, walks, grabs the tire, throws it out, grabs the tire, throws it out. Got his license plate the whole time. I mean, it's fast, but it's not fast enough to catch somebody.
Yeah, because all those people pass
And
over
then
there,
down
they
Bowling Alley
just
Road,
throw,
there's nowhere to hide it anyway.
Yeah.
But you can do put a trail camera in the middle.
but they throw
shoot
some
it.
garbage there.
That's where the sheriff's supposed to go next, pick up.
So, once we get our beautification team going, we'll start hitting those roads on a regular basis.
Well, I promise you, clean it up one day, the next day it'll be the same way.
Same thing down Old River Road, Airport Road, Bowling Alley Road, Funky Shortcut, Beldo.
Yeah.
So that's where hopefully this comes into play, to do the cleanup. Because there's multiple layers to this program. It's not just enforcement. We got enforcement, we got education, and we gotta clean it up. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, engineer reports. We're going to start with Delta. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Jacob Giller with Delta Engineering Group. Okay, we have our LGAP for crushed stone that we're still waiting on the award announcement. We're probably looking at September. Same thing with our CWEF grant that we applied for the Borlonville Waterworks District Number 1 to rehab their 100,000 gallon elevated tank. Probably looking at around September for that award. Our build grant, this is the $7 million federal grant we applied for roads. The award announcement is expected no later than June 28th. So by the end of this month, we should hear something unless they change that. But there's nothing out there saying they're pushing it back. So as of right now, we're hoping by the end of the month, we'll know something. As soon as we hear anything, we'll let y'all know. On our Avoyelles Community Education Center that we're working on with the school board, and y'all have the ballpark coming up in the back, we've been working to get servitudes for Clico and for the town of Evergreen. Clico to get our power back there, town of Evergreen to get water to both sites, to our site for the school board and the police jury site. Right now, our next step, we're almost finished with that, but they want the state lands, Office of State Lands wants a letter of no objection from the Avoyelles Parish Police Jury and the Avoyelles Parish School Board saying that they have no objection to the state granting a servitude to Clico and to the town of Evergreen. And the only reason they're asking you that is because you have the current a lease on it for the land use. So I don't know if we need to have a motion for that, but the sooner the better, just because these projects need to move and we need to get that electricity back there is most important so these projects can keep on. And
We can add that too.
Okay.
Are y'all gonna draft the letter?
We can. Yes, we will. We'll draft the letter.
Put it on.
So as long as we authorize you to sign
I'll
it.
add it on there.
Can we add that to tomorrow?
Tuesday.
And we just found out about this Tuesday. That's why it's not on your agenda
Friday
now.
meeting.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Well, that's just pre-construction.
Okay. And so hopefully in short order after that, we should get our servitudes in order and power starts running back there. And we're already getting water going back there. Okay, let's see. The next item, Road District 2. We just received bids on our FY '26 road improvements. Our low bid was from Merritt Construction in the amount of $810,650. We looked at the budget just before the meeting. Looks like we'll be able to award it for that. It's a little above what we had originally estimated, but we have some extra funds in the account, and so we think we'll be able to award it. The road district's gonna meet on Monday before the regular meeting. They'll review the bids, and then I guess we'll provide a recommendation based on what they see.
Do you
Monday.
think, I'm sorry.
Next Monday before the Tuesday meeting.
Yeah.
Jacob, what was the number we had?
Yeah, the road district will meet on
What was
Monday.
the account, what was the balance, please?
So,
No, the balance.
Yeah, right here, I've written down here.
Okay.
Yeah, $992,441.
And you think that it'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of 810?
Yes.
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 Yes, and then-
Yeah, and we have some contingency built into our
So-
quantity, so that we usually
We should
find
be
if we
okay.
can award it for the base bid, we can do it.
After looking at our projection for the finish the rest of the year, like the engineering fees, admin fees, the culvert, and the rock, I think it's gonna leave about 100,000 remaining for the year.
If we maxed them all out, would it still leave 100,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll watch the budget closely like we always do, and if we
Yeah.
see something that's starting to get,
One more come.
go over one way or the other.
We're usually pretty good with that
We'll
part
cut
of
back.
it.
40,000.
It's just, other things, but
Okay, so we'll look at that, review that with the road district on Monday before the Tuesday meeting. And we'll have something for the Tuesday meeting to present. And you'll have a resolution with all the bids that we received and what we're recommending. Okay. Solid waste pickup, request for proposal and contract. So we've developed that contract and the RFP. It is right now, I believe, in the finalized unless we get some comments, but we've already met twice on this with the solid waste committee. A few comments, made a few changes, and it's, as far as we're concerned, it's final. The plan right now, if the jury approves to advertise it, the first advertisement would be next Friday. Then there will be a second advertisement on the following Friday. Then we'll have a mandatory pre-bid, and then we'll receive the proposals on July 7th, which will be before the police jury meeting, and in between the police jury meeting and the receipt of proposals, we'll have an oversight committee meeting to review the proposals. So deadline to submit proposal will be July 7th. The plan right now is the project oversight committee to review the proposals will be July 9th, and then the jury meeting's on the 14th. And hopefully at that point, we can award the solid waste contract. So we have that up on the agenda later on for the police jury to approve to solicit proposals. And we'll solicit them via central bidding and the newspaper. And so they'll be able to submit proposals either electronically or hard copy. And that wraps up everything on my list. Do y'all have any questions on that?
When does the contract end?
This year.
December 31st.
When?
December 31st.
Anything else?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Pan American, Mr. Rhett.
Good evening, Mr. President, jurors, ladies and gentlemen. Rhett DeSille with Pan American Engineers. Our Act 461 projects were overlaid Business Loop and Richer Road, but the main work has been done. The roads have been overlaid. We still have some final dress-up work to be performed. Once the ground dries, the contractor will come back in, put some topsoil, tie the shoulders into the asphalt overlay. We have been working with Kevin to get all the money for each one of the roads fully utilized. So I've asked the contractor for a pay request today, so hopefully we'll get a bill from them. And we'll be able to see how much funds are remaining for Kevin to buy some more material to maybe put some shoulder aggregate and things like that on the road. The only other item I have that is kind of new from last month is with the ball fields and the recreational and educational complex. We have a pre-construction conference tomorrow at 11 a.m. here in the police jury meeting.
10.
It says 10.
I'm sorry, 10. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. here in the police jury meeting room. So we'll set a notice to proceed date from there and get the contractor going. Other than that, I really don't have anything else.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Red, LCDBG, anything?
We've not heard, no.
Is that usually come in July, August, or not?
It usually comes after the session. Yeah, after the session. We usually find out something.
All right. Okay, that concludes committee report, so y'all free to go if you want to leave. We'll move to the business aspect of the program. Number one, Mr. Thomas, you want to take I'll do them 18. on? I'll do Oh, I'm 18. sorry. Animal shelter? No, I'm doing 18. Okay, that's Yeah. what I thought. Okay, go ahead, number one.
We're gonna, proposing to put out for bid a piece of property that's in the Barnwellville Road, that's past the 5 years of adjudication, so
Okay.
we'd like to advertise that for 30 days and let it go out for bid.
All right, and we're gonna ask 1,800, is that what you, okay.
That's
Fair
from
market.
They came from the assessors.
Okay. All right, number two, we'll be canvassing the election return from, I guess, the May 16th
It'll be
election.
adopt a resolution just certifying that we have canvassed. I'm sorry I didn't add that to number 2, but that's
Yeah,
simply what it is.
every vote's been counted and all that
It's
stuff.
something we have to do for every election.
All right. Number three, Mark?
I just, what went on election day and around Morgsville was unbelievable with a candidate, and I just want some clarification if the district attorney is here Tuesday.
Okay.
What a candidate can do and cannot do in polling places and around polling places with trucks with signs and stuff.
Okay. All right, good.
Can't
All right.
get nothing from anybody else.
Number four, Jack? Yeah, we have a recommendation for litter committee. Right here we have a property, Gidget Bennett, approve 45 days to clean property. If the property is not clean within 45 days, proceed with charges. And also we have Jeffrey LaCombe, approve a 90-day extension to clean property. That was from the last property standards meeting. Yes,
What
Mr.
do you mean by proceed with charges?
I guess what we
That-
should have
that's
put
not
was,
what we said.
no, legal is
No,
what.
what was said at the meeting was that she was gonna be given, first of all, she's been fined, and she came to court yesterday. So at the committee meeting, what was discussed, she was given 45 days to clean it, or Steve said the jury would make arrangements to go in and clean it.
Oh, okay.
That's what was said.
All right, so we'll take off that
Well, it was
charges.
in my minutes, I wish,
Pardon?
when it was in the minutes that I sent out, so I don't know.
What do you mean with charges? That's what I don't understand.
Well, you said to proceed with legal, that's how it was written in my minutes, so if it was wrong in the minutes, I should have been notified then to change them before today.
So what's the proper word and which
What word do you want me to use?
If it's not
Legal
clean, when for it.
charges?
Well, I'm still
The jury would
proceeding
proceed
with
with a legal,
Well, yeah.
step. I mean, it's legal. What are we gonna do? Tell her to come pay it? So if she fails to do it, the next step would be the jury would proceed with some type of legal action, correct?
Right, but you're saying, so when you say charges, you mean financial or?
Whatever the DA is gonna say, it's going to be a legal,
Okay, so-
a charge.
Legal charges, I guess.
It's gonna be a charge of.
Legal action.
Yes.
Legal, okay.
Because when I see charges, I'm thinking, that's a financial.
Well, I'm sure it's
fine.
gonna result in some type of charge upstairs if the DA has to step in to remedy the situation since she won't do it. I mean, he's not gonna, what other leverage does he have?
That's fine. I'm reading, so as long as charges means action,
Just
I'm
put
good with that.
Yeah.
Put proceed with the legal action.
How do y'all want me to write it?
Proceed with legal action.
Yeah, she was.
Hopefully it ends up in charge.
She was given 45 days
How's
to
that?
clean it up,
Yeah.
or we
Did she
would
go
move forward
yesterday?
like we did the other properties.
We'll take legal action.
She's already been charged. She was fined last night. She came to court.
And Jeffrey LaCombe was here, we told him,
90 days.
Yeah, we're getting him
What
9
is, what
days.
is Jeffrey gonna clean up? The whole cannon
The
plant?
Coleman property, they work on trying to get it, and he said he's gonna clean it up himself.
Or his house?
The old house, yeah.
His mama's house.
It's a relative, but I think I think they're inheriting the property or something, I don't remember exactly what it was.
He was given 90 days.
He said that was plenty of time.
All right, number 5, Jacob, you wanna take that one too?
Yeah, also too, we discussed our last abatement committee meeting to hire 2 part-time beautification employees. This we actually consider 2 laborers actually be worded as 2 laborers to work in beautification in the parish. And being that position already established already with the police jury, we don't have to advertise that like as a new job, as an existing job.
You gonna advertise?
We can advertise, for candidates, but yeah.
It's a new job and you gotta
No, it's not
advertise?
a new job.
Huh?
It's a labor. It's be a labor.
So you got the job description already?
Hmm?
You need to add the code enforcement officer too.
Well, the code enforcement is a new job created. This right here is 2 laborers, 2 part-time laborers.
The other one ought to be in there
So
too.
you wanna add the code enforcement?
Oh, I got what you're saying, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the person has a job description on that? You have that?
Yep, I have, I just have the printout.
Job
Sure.
descriptions in the back.
On these,
I have it in here too.
2 individuals that's gonna be hired. So, have you guys
Rather than that.
decided what y'all gonna do for a driver? And have you decided how we're gonna dispose
Enforcer.
of the stuff that we got?
Okay, because I don't want to say it all.
So if we are 2 laborers, one
Who's
can
gonna
drive,
have to labor? Who's gonna drive?
one of them can drive,
Well, they said,
one of them can drive.
didn't, they said we were gonna use some money from the sign shop or something? Hadn't we discussed that?
That
It was
the
said
wrong
that it would
answer.
be a current employee, that's what we
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you're right.
I think we'll find somebody who needs something to do.
Yeah, and that's what we said.
Yeah,
I
'cause
think
it's only gonna be like a half a day.
Yeah.
that they can
Yeah.
take.
Right.
So when they pick this stuff up, what are they gonna take?
Take it to the barn, no?
Kevin?
Take the man, sir.
Yeah.
Take it to the barn?
Barn.
We dispose of the stuff that the sheriff's office picks up.
Okay.
Already.
That's what we weren't clear on. How it was being done.
Yeah.
Take up your own.
All right, and this tire code enforcement, we got a description.
Yeah, we have
It's in the packet also, if you'd like to take a look at it. I know Miss Ingrid said there's one also, but I did put it in the packet.
Yeah.
It's at the back end of
Yes, it's in the packet. I don't have anything for the beautification, but I think that's pretty,
Well, it's a labor.
it's a labor.
Labor, yeah.
just- Yeah, so we already
Labor
have
rate,
something
yeah.
for that.
Okay, everybody good on these? All right, take number 6 too, Jack. Solid waste.
Also, we have Delta Engineers, condemnation grant for $1,000 per home. That's the grant discussed earlier.
All right, Jacob, you want to
I can tell y'all what that
just
is.
clarify it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Jimmy called me, asked me one day if I could come to a meeting. What was that meeting we called?
That was a letter.
Hearing committee.
Yeah.
So a hearing committee meeting, and just talk about the condemnation process. And then he also asked, he said, do y'all do condemnation inspections of old blighted houses? And I said, sure, we do it. We're doing it for Marksville. And he asked me how much we charge. It's $1,000 per home. And he asked if we would do it for the police jury. I said, sure, if they would like, if that's their pleasure, we would be glad to help and do that. And that's what this was. It was to, the way I understood it was to add some more validity to it, I guess, to have an engineer actually do the inspection and prepare the report. And if y'all would like us to do it, we're happy to do it. But, so that's what this is.
So that's charge $1,000 per home inspection?
Yeah, home
for-
structure, that would be us,
Yeah.
we'd go inspect it, we would come to the meeting, we'd have a report, we would come to the meeting with the property owner to make a recommendation that we think it's, it's unsafe and it's a good candidate for a condemnation, and help with, as the property owner comes to that meeting, to kind of explain why we think this is the case, and that way you're not over there dependent on your own.
And it's also for the grant also too, yeah, preparing.
It's strictly for condemnation.
Yeah.
not for the grant.
Yeah.
For the grant.
Okay, well,
You
and that is how it is worded, yes.
You determine if there's asbestos and all?
No, sir.
You don't?
No.
Y'all
I mean,
would hire
we can
someone, though.
decide if we think there is, but in this grant program, you have to get them all inspected for asbestos, regardless if you think it's there or not. And to get a certified asbestos person to
So
do
y'all,
that.
y'all would get the certified guy,
Yeah,
right?
we could,
Y'all
yes.
could hook that up.
And those guys can be paid for through the grant. You would do that after you got the grant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mr. Jim?
Okay, what I would like to ask is, because we're creating a database with property that we consider probably condemnable. So, at $1,000 per unit, I like the jury to just kind of set on how many y'all want to do a year. I mean, if you want to do 25, that way.
We set a budget,
he
yeah.
knows, you know, I'm just using 25.
Yeah.
This way, the jury's gonna know how much they're gonna spend a year. I mean, if, I can give you 100 if you want, but that would mean $100,000.
Yeah.
So do you wanna limit the, I mean, I would say in the proposal, the jury limit how many, say how
This
many.
is for him to condemn it.
That's a good idea.
For the
So
grant.
if y'all are moving forward with this, the litter committee has a number to go,
Yeah.
to authorize us to move forward with instead of it.
Just like we discussed about setting with a number of homes or a number of properties cleaned up, I think we do the same thing with this for two, set a number
But I
of
would just suggest
homes.
doing that, because then it gives a parameter, everybody knows what we're gonna be working
Yeah.
with on an annual basis.
All right, what's that?
And we already have 16 of those properties that
What's-
came in on complaints.
Okay, so what's this number we want to do?
We'll look at the budget and see if I'm comfortable with 20 a year.
20, and how much it's gonna cost?
$1,000 a piece.
It's $1,000 a home for them to.
20 houses would cost you
But it's
$20,000.
You don't get that.
Not this right
You
here.
don't get that back, but
But-
you, everything else.
We're gonna, what, somebody say we getting the money back?
Not,
No.
not for them, no, sir,
No.
not their choice.
That's incorrect.
But it has to be condemned first before you can actually go in and put the grant.
Yeah.
So we paid $1,000 up front, and then
Okay,
we
so
get
this
the
is,
grant?
let's clarify this. This is completely different from the grant.
Correct.
All right, so we need to scratch that out of that condemnation.
well-
This is condemnation in general,
It is, the
That's
grant,
really
that's
what
what
it
they
is.
would charge, but
but for the grant, for us to get money to tear down a home, it has to be condemned first.
yes.
They prefer, it rates better if it is condemned first. You do not necessarily have to have
It's a lot
it.
better if it's an engineer that.
Yeah.
It increases your chances because it's ready to be demoed.
So we got 16, what about 15? Y'all wouldn't think 15?
That would be a good number.
Regardless, you just gotta
Well,
vote
somebody's
on it as
gonna
a
make the
jury,
motion,
cause it's
don't
probably
vote.
not in the budget anyway, so just whatever
No.
you guys wanna make a recommendation, I'd just say vote on it.
We-
Where
we-
we have it on the record, and then whatever expenditures are spent
We'll
for
know.
2026,
Yeah,
we
we'll
voted
know.
on it before we spent it.
So,
That's all I'd say.
how would y'all like to?
So we're not doing nothing this year?
No.
I mean, you can,
This, you'd have to, this has to be put in the budget, considering the budget.
if the grant's due in December, his work has to be done next year or
No,
before
we're
December?
gonna be done before December.
Because you
So
can
if the
get it before the end.
expenditure's in
But
26.
we're not talking about the grant right now, right?
But the house is.
But it leads up to the.
I understand that, but you're talking outside and in the future is what we're talking about.
And they just have to condemn.
They said that the grant is due to
I
apply.
know, we know that.
And that it helps for an engineer
Yeah,
to
to condemn
condemn
it.
the property. Of course, it cost us $1,000 a home before the grant is submitted, so it's kind of like, we
we
put
talk-
some money towards it, and it gives us the best chance at getting this grant.
So we-
But that expenditure will happen prior to December of 26.
Correct.
So the money will be spent
Yeah,
this
this fiscal
year.
year.
So pass a vote, Mr. Darrell, I'd recommend, and then, y'all can spend what you want, or how many houses, whatever.
So we're talking about amending the budget?
All right.
We have to
Yeah.
amend it every year anyway.
We have to
Every
amend it, but at
fall.
least we
Just a
voted on it before
clarification.
the expenditure due.
Is the $1,000 only gonna be if a house actually gets condemned, or is that any house you go look at?
It would be any house you'll look at, but I could usually tell you before we do the inspection if it's condemned.
You got a
You
pretty
know,
good
especially
idea.
if it's a bad one, I
We're
mean,
gonna start with the.
So we're basically going after the houses that we think are gonna be condemned.
I think y'all have a pretty good list already that y'all are.
So could we possibly submit like the pictures and stuff that I already have? Because most of these places, you can look at it from a picture and tell it's condemned. The house is half, 3/4 burnt down. I mean, that's the one, we're picking the low hanging fruit here. We're going after the ones we
Well,
know.
we should be after the worst. I mean, that's what you
We're
should
gonna
be.
try to get the ones that there's no questions, this is a condemnable house.
But I've seen some that I don't know if I would condemn though, on some of those pictures, like the trailers.
Yeah.
I mean, is, just say, sets 15 a good number to set? I'm asking y'all. Or somebody, this has to be made a motion for
Because we
Tuesday
amending the
night.
budget, do we have $15,000 or do we wanna go with
Where
10,000?
do y'all wanna pay it from? Solid waste?
Gotta come, yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
before we-
7.75 million in it.
You can do,
Oh,
safely,
solid waste? I would do the whole 16.
I said, can I say I would do 20?
Okay.
20?
Let me, I'm looking back at the minimum, the minimum grant award is 150,000. Based on the bids we recently received, 150,000 minimum grant award. Based on what we just recently received from Marksville, you're gonna, if you have $150,000, you're going to do around 20, could do about 20 structures. So you
Let's
need
say
to
at 20.
You need to do at least 20.
All right, everybody in agreement to that? Okay, all right.
Okay.
All
Barry,
right.
you ever see that, I don't know if it's a house or trailer on the large road from the S-Mile where you're going and right there to the right?
Okay.
It's all grown up.
Right before Tim Lambert's property where he's selling the lots.
Yeah, that's that Gasport property, I wasn't heard of it happening there.
Yeah.
They all in jail or dead or.
Oh, that's a mess.
It's a legal mess.
Cool. Cool.
And there's some more right across the street.
Oh, I know what you're talking, oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go, let's move on. All right, number 7, we'll be adopt a city motion to adopt a Marshfield City Court budget.
Ms. Laura, can you go to that, that frame with the budget so everybody can have a look? Please, thank you.
It's 110,519.19.
Just scroll down.
What else?
Went up like 6,000.
It should be in line with, where it is on the agenda. Go ahead, go.
You got a packet with it,
Yeah.
separate, right?
Did it change from last year? Or?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
$11,750 more.
Go ahead,
We're on the responsible.
go ahead.
One more down.
Go ahead. Go ahead. There, it's half, so it's 110,500, something.
So it went up,
It went up, year before it went
6,000
down,
and
this
so-
year it went up.
Okay. All right, number 8 is, there's some quotes in your package to review for the canopy.
I got
We
that
have-
over here too.
That's Mark?
That's the first
Mark or
one.
Joey, you want, you know?
Joey said that,
That's the first one that's up on the screen, Mr.
We
Joey?
have,
I mean,
two
we have
quotes,
Two.
quote.
This one
and, we met with one of the contractors, plan on meeting with another one Monday. So we'll have an answer for you Tuesday, as far as what gauge material and what their plans are of doing.
So that's one.
And then there's another
That's the
one.
next.
It's like $10,000 difference.
I see that.
So,
Actually, 14,000.
I wanna know if they bidding apples to apples.
Well,
Yeah.
let's go back and look, because I think they are, right?
They are?
They're gonna remove the old canopy.
And they extend it out
doesn't say
longer
what
too.
size gauge, what
No.
material they use.
What did you spec in your quote when you requested the quote?
We didn't.
Oh, they didn't- nobody wanted to get an engineer, nothing, nobody
They
was
wanted to
going.
get- One of them wanted to get an engineer involved, and that's when we got another guy.
So we got 2, and you'll know what by Tuesday?
We'll know Tuesday if it's, both of them are apples to apples.
Okay.
Well, we'll know, okay, yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's
Such,
expensive, we'll
such a
know,
big difference.
because we need to go with the higher one, or because of, he's using, let's say, 5 gauge material,
Okay,
or
all right,
he's doing it this way or whatever,
that'll work.
okay?
All right, number 9, we'll have a memorial resolution for Fire Chief Jerry Boydlong. 10, Jacob.
All right, also, we're gonna award Road District 2 project. We had a bid open this afternoon. Merit Construction is appeared lowest bidder, and the Road District 2 meeting Monday at 4 o'clock here. Direct recommendation to the jury.
All right. Number 11, Mr. Benson.
Let's see what we got here. Purchased 2 trucks, paid from, road and bridge money. Not to exceed, what is it, 35,000?
37,000.
37?
Yes, sir, for both of them.
37,000, okay, not to exceed 37,000. We add that, Ms. Jamie?
Sir?
37,000?
Yes, sir, I can. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Not to exceed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, number 12, Mr. Benson.
We had voted in the past for a sign for Mr. Keller and Mr. Earl at the health unit in Bunkie. In Bunkie?
Library.
I'm sorry, library, yes. Okay, library. And also, we want to do 2 signs for the health unit, one in Bunkie and one in Marksville. The low bidder is Gipco Signs.
I have them in there too.
Is that Gipco Signs?
Yeah, they have a package.
$4,300.
Right.
And they said the price is good for, so that's for all 3 signs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4,300.
For all 3?
Yeah, so, the library will pay and the health unit will pay.
That's
So, the health unit, will pay 1,221, and they'll also pay 1,347. And the library will pay $1,732.50 for the Keller sign, Keller and Earl sign.
Yeah, we did, that was supposed to be done when, Joey?
Years ago.
You made the motion, I don't remember in the meeting.
It's been
3 years ago, 2.5.
Yeah, it's been 3 years.
Yeah, so that's what that's about.
Interest compounded daily. All right, good one. All right, number 13, Jacob.
All right, also I'll make a motion Tuesday night to approve Delta Engineers hourly rate of $130 for working on the solid waste RFPs. Jake, you want to touch on it?
All right. So, right now, we have an RFP that includes the RFP, proposal form, and a contract for the solid waste contract. And it's this package right here. So, we got this package ready to go out for bids. We've met, had a couple meetings and all that, and we worked a lot on this thing. So this took a lot of work. We thought this was going to be a simple review of the whole RFP and give y'all some recommendations. So when I first offered to help, we wanted to just help. I asked Mr. Darrow, I said, look, if y'all want us to look at it, we'll review it, give y'all some comments, maybe make some edits, whatever y'all need. And we won't charge y'all anything. We're just kind of helping. Well, that thing snowballed on us. I mean, we started with an old contract that had a lot of lacking in it, and then we got St. Landry Parish's contract to try to incorporate into our new contract. And now we have a package that's for trash pickup, just like we have now, that's manual, or automated pickup where the truck comes and lifts the trash can and throws it in your, the trash in the back of the truck. We also have a stipulation for if the dump site changes from where they dump now to if they get the availability of a closer site, that we can renegotiate that cost. We also separated the pickup at the door, or the residential pickup when they pick it up at your house, from the dumpsters that we have at the maintenance facility and the sheriff's office, and then some of the other sites. So it just turned into this bigger animal than we had anticipated. Now, at that time, we never stopped. We just said, we're going to keep going. We want to help get it done. But when we went to the last meeting, we asked the solid waste committee, said, would y'all entertain paying us for the work we've done, and if y'all need us to go forward? Because right now, to go forward, we have to do someone has to distribute these packages, advertise the project, distribute packages to proposers. We have to have a mandatory pre-bid, and someone's got to help review these things. If y'all want us to help going forward, we would have to get paid. The work that we've done so far, we're asking if y'all would pay us for it. Right now, probably got about 80 hours in this thing. We had at the last meeting, we said we probably had somewhere around 60. We worked on it some more. We are right at 80. If y'all would tell me you could pay me 80 hours up to this point, I would say, okay, that's good. So that's about $10,000, or that is $10,400 to this point. And then hourly going forward, because I don't know what this is going to take. I couldn't just give you a lump sum number, because I don't know. I don't know what kind of questions we're going to have, what modifications, addendums, and if y'all want us to continue.
Jacob, is that $130 a person, engineer? Or?
When someone's working on it. Yeah, if I was working on it for an hour, it'd be an hour. But We typically, if two of us were having to work on it for whatever reason, yeah, it would be per person. So,
Jacob.
yes, sir.
Jacob Coco, you solicited engineering bids for this, RFQs?
No,
What,
this was kind of started here as a, working out with the jury, trying to work with it, and like I mentioned, like a snowball, and it's bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. That's why let's bring it to the jury, for the jury to look at this.
Yeah, so we.
well, the work's been done, now you're asking the jury after. Supposedly it was, I guess, free, like you said, you were gonna help out, understand it, but it is work that's there. Did you get any other bids for the engineer? Did any of the engineering costs come out?
Nope.
Didn't we pass a resolution for that? I thought that we would start getting at it and trying our best as the jury. Nothing against you, sir, please. Nothing against any engineering
Well,
company.
they helped a lot.
That we would get more set cost into what we procure. I mean, we got a set cost on some trucks earlier, on signs. I mean, we get all of these lockdown costs, and I understand we need to have a little leeway. But, you know, Jacob, we would probably need to have not just an open-ended PO, but maybe a limit of
And that's what the jury for,
10,000
you know,
or
it's
20,000, you know, like, and then we come back, I mean, because it open-ended, I mean.
This was discussed, you know, at the beginning, as helping the jury out. And our last committee meeting, that's when they brought it to us, like, is that bigger than we expected, you know, for money. So, well, I found out this about with the last week we met. That's when bring it to the jury next week, and the jury says about this. If really started as a helping the jury out, to now a fee.
And it's if y'all would.
Yeah.
You know, we're asking, just because we have spent so much time. I mean, you imagine spending 80 hours on a specific project. When we thought it was gonna be no more than 20 hours, hopefully 10, and we would have it done. But at the same time, we knew the time frame y'all were under, so we kept working, and we said, well, you know, we'll just ask. It's doesn't hurt to ask. You know what I mean? But it's up to the jury. Now, if you want us to go forward, I am going to charge, or I'm not going to continue to, you know, do it. I just can't.
That's how business is
Right.
done, though.
You know what I mean?
Business is done by a charge, a
Yeah.
scope of work, give
Yeah.
it to you, you give a
Yeah.
cost back, and then whoever's paying for it agrees.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Totally
So-
understand.
So it's obviously y'all option on what y'all do going forward. You don't have to necessarily, you don't have to pay me. It was a request, and if you don't, no hard feelings, because we told you we would do it at no cost. We never, when we came to you, the work was done. We just asked, and now it's going forward, like I said, now it's to the point, if I'm going to help you solicit proposals, review the proposals, attend a pre-bid meeting, and do all that, I'll have to send it to you going forward.
For what it's worth, I think we also asked them to field the questions and answers from the contractors.
Yes, you did ask.
Rather than Jamie trying to field those questions.
From which contract? The RFP's been sent out?
RFPs.
No, y'all are voting on that.
Okay, so what contractor questions did they have?
It's if they do.
Oh, if they do, once the RFP is out, you're
Yes.
talking about?
Yes, sir.
I got you. And I have
Just
more
handle
questions
that.
on the
And,
RFP
you know,
side.
and we discussed
but
the
it's
RFPs.
pre
We
that,
discussed,
yeah.
you know, the RFPs a while back, and the decision was the committee look at it, and if from the committee, bring it to the whole jury before it gets advertised. And that's what we're doing today.
Yeah.
In your opinion of the hours that you put in, how many hours do you think were what you were expecting to put in as a freebie? And then when did it not become a freebie? So it's like if you're saying, you know, we thought this was gonna be 20 hours and we were gonna give you this, and then all of a sudden we put in 80 hours, we wanna get paid for 80. So shouldn't you go and say, well, I thought I was gonna give you 20, but I'll give you the 20, but I wanna get paid
Yeah.
for the extra 60.
I would take anything if the procurator agreed to it. It's better than nothing right now. But yes, if I would have expected, I was hoping around 10, but no more than 20, you know, I would have said.
No doubt it's a lot of work.
But-
With a $5 million, over $5 million contract probably.
More than that, it's about 3.8 a year times a potential
Yeah, well,
of
I
5
mean,
years.
initially, yeah.
Right. It could be the biggest contract we have to discuss as a jury at 9. Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yeah.
Mr. Coco?
Didn't we go through all that with the planning commission with the trash cans? He said he.
Yeah, this is different.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean? He said bid for the trucks to pick them up.
Oh, is that in the bid?
You remember
I don't know.
We went
Yeah.
through that argument for how long, the trash cans and all that.
Yeah, that was people, yeah, but that was
Yeah.
people furnishing their own.
Yeah.
Now, in this contract.
But I mean, I'm gonna make this statement.
Yeah.
If you put out the RFPs and they all say, we want trash cans, well, guess what? We gotta go with trash cans.
Yeah, that's the waste management
Yeah,
dictating
yeah,
that.
they
That's what-
dictate
yeah,
that.
that's-
And right
it's
now,
not the
the
police
90
jury.
gallon, I think is what we got in RFPs. Yeah.
One per house and then a second one.
One per house, you want another one, that would be on you.